Barn. I'm a contemporary mixed media artist, and I wanted to talk to you about my different bodies of work and where they come from and what I guess motivates me to make them. And I really can't explain it. It's always very tough for me to talk about my work because it comes from a place that I myself can't explain. It's when I think back, it's always been this place where is beyond words for me. It's almost like a download. Like I just get flashes of color, I get titles, I get images. It's just like it's like that, you know. And it's like I can't explain it. It comes from somewhere that you can't put into words. I just know that I'm compelled to make it once it enters my mind. It'll come out of nowhere. Sometimes it's a very clear image, and sometimes it's just the title, and the title leads to the piece. And sometimes it's just pieces of a piece, and it slowly starts to come together as I allow the energy to like move through me, allow myself to take in whatever's meant to come, and it just keeps pushing me until the piece is finished. And it's just something I can't explain. And there's been so many times that I've wanted to like stop, and you know, it wasn't working out. The last sculpture that I made, one of the last sculptures that I made this year, was called I Surrender. And there was a million times that I just wanted to stop. I felt like it's not working. The pieces aren't there. It's not really coming out the way I wanted to. And it wouldn't let me stop. It wouldn't let me stop. And I had to just keep going until the piece was done. And I was very clear that that force that was pushing me, that was compelling me to finish this piece, was beyond anything that I could explain. I have to make this work. That's the only way I can say it. I really have to make this work. And whatever I'm doing, I have to put it down, stop, and start working on the piece. Like there's been times where I was really sick and I had a fever and I literally couldn't even walk. Like I was just really sick, and I like something would come and I would have to come to my studio and move things around and piece something together and then go and pass out basically. So I'm very clear that it's not about me, and there's something that's beyond me, and it really it's an energy that comes through me and requires me, I guess, asks me to make this work. Besides that, which I'm still figuring out, and the more, you know, I become vegan, and the more I become spiritual, and the more I meditate, and the more in tuned I become and calm and quiet, the louder the voices are and the clearer whatever messages that I need to come through to me come. And the pieces are getting more intricate, more specific, and they've really just taken on life of their own. And of course, you know, my background's been all those words that I'm so uncomfortable with, immigrant and refugee. I just feel like we're all human beings, and we're all on this planet, on this floating green and blue ball. And none of us know how we got here or where we're going, but we have so many stories that we've made up in order to feel safe and secure and comfortable. And it never really quite gives us that feeling, but we try so hard. We try so hard to create a sense of belonging, whether it's to a country, or to a religion, or to a person, or to an identity, or whatever. We constantly need to be like, this is who I am. This is what I'm here to do. This is what what I am. And, you know, all these like identities and labels. And I find less and less of a need for it as I get older. I think definitely that my background with coming here, you know, we left Iran and we walked on foot for 7 days, and it was, you know, really crazy. I have like very minimal memories. It's just stuff that my parents have told me, but it was really a traumatic trip from Iran to arriving to the US eventually, and being here, and, you know, all my, you know, immigrant stories of like being bullied and you know, not fitting in and feeling lost, and then going back to Iran after all these years and still feeling even more lost and feeling less of a sense of place. And I don't know, like, I guess I've always been trying to understand why we have this need for nationality, why we have need for religion, why we have a need for any of these things. And I think that's what my work questions as well. Like I've always cringed when someone's like Iranian American, God forbid they add the religious aspect of it, because I don't believe in any shape or form of organized religion. I'm just spiritual. And I believe in energy. And it really makes me uncomfortable when people are like, yeah, but what was your mom or what was your grandmother? As if religion is something that you're like born into or it's forced down your throat. Like it just doesn't, that you have to believe it wholeheartedly or it's fake, So I just, I felt like always very uncomfortable because I never felt any of these labels really made sense to me. And I just felt like, I literally don't feel, a difference between me and my dog, or like me and a cat, or me and a cow, or a pig, or an ant, or whatever. We're all living beings on this planet, sharing this planet. And that's why I don't eat animals, because to me, it's like bizarre. Like we force to impregnate animals and then we eat their babies. We chain them up. We like in, huge like factories, and we force impregnate them and eat their babies. We force impregnate them over and over again. It's so barbaric and so bizarre. And I just I don't understand it. And I wish people would stop doing it, because, my dogs are my family. All animals are our family. We're all family. Like that's, so it's like, for me, like, it's just, we're all these, living beings stuck to this ball that's floating. And we really don't know how the hell we got here, where we're going, what any of this means. And everyone just acts so freaking crazy while we're on it. It's like war after war, like, lack of animal rights and lack of human rights and this chaos. My dog is like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about me? Let me bring him up. And it's just like, it's so bizarre to me, because I think my work is also, besides the spiritual aspect of it, of like downloading this information from, a place that's really unknown and bizarre to me. It's also like me questioning nationalism, me questioning this need for a sense of country, me questioning what all of this means. None of this makes sense to me. That's the truth of it. None of this has ever made sense to me. The way people behave, the way we treat each other, the way we treat animals, the way people kill each other for a flag or for nationality, for, having more property. Like, why are we the only living beings on this planet that pay rent to live here? Like, none of this makes any sense to me. Killing each other for because someone's sexual preference or because someone's the color of their skin. Like, it's so bizarre. It's so ridiculous to me. Like, I don't understand it. And I think my work is just my confusion. It's a reflection of my constant confusion. Like, are you serious? We're still having these conversations? There's places where they tell people how they have to dress or they go to jail and get tortured to death. What? Like, I don't, it's just bizarre to me. Like, we still have, places that literally the fact that there's even a difference between a man and woman, the fact that people care about people's sexual preferences, the fact that if I get pregnant, other people decide if I'm going to have a human being come out of my body. These things are bizarre to me. I think they're insane. I don't understand anything that's going on this planet. War in general is the most chaotic, crazy, barbaric thing. It's as upsetting as factory farming, raping animals and eating their babies, wearing their skin. Like, what are we, cavemen? Like, why do we have a need for leather or fur anymore? Like, these things do not make sense. And there's an animal walking down the street. What compels you? What goes to your mind? I'm going to go attack that animal, kill it, rip its skin off and wear it as a coat or a bag. I don't understand it. This is I understand when we were in caves, but in 2022, where we have phones in our pockets, we're still raping and eating animals and wearing their dead skin and calling it fashion. I don't get it. I don't get any of this. And we're starting another war right now. And all these things are just it's bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me. And that's what the work is. And yes, I was born in Iran and I came to the US and, there's all that backstory of where, that kind of like you think, okay, that if the work definitely reflects all that, all my memories, all my experiences. But a lot of it is just, what is going on? Like, what is wrong with people? A lot of it is just that, like, seriously bizarre, like that we're literally like killing each other for the most ridiculous things in the world. And like, we should literally, like, the fact that we're all here, and like people like die at different times and they come at different times, and we really don't like understand any of this, is where I'm going with this. Like, we really do not understand any of this, and everyone is trying so hard to make sense of it. But we just come and go and come and go. And like, you know, is it reincarnation? Is it what is it, energy? What happens to us? Where do we go? How do we, the experiences we have, you know, just looking at your hands, like this stuff should be so intriguing to us. Like, I look in my dog's eyes, and I mean, she's the same as me. We just speak a different language. I mean, I have no right to kill anyone. I didn't give anyone life. And the fact that we distinguish between animals and humans, like we're superior, is so bizarre to me. I don't know where that concept came from. That's ridiculousness. And we spend so much energy and time on producing guns and different tools to torture animals in factory farms and kill people, and like hunt. And this is such a waste of energy and time. I don't understand these things, and the work is a reflection of that. Like, just behind me, like, I work with a lot of hands and a lot of feet, and you know, these are guns and these are police batons, and you know, it's a lot of like tools and weapons and ridiculous things that humans invent in order to what, like, you know, like make a better quality of life for us. I don't. It's just bizarre to me. None of this makes any sense. And that's what the work is about. How none of this makes any sense to me. And I'm just questioning it and questioning human behavior. And that's what the work is about, really. Like, the human condition. Like, this constant, you know, like love, hate, pain, fear. Like, why does there have to be so much suffering? Like, that I think hurts me the most. I'm constantly rescuing animals and fostering and helping people and animals, anyone that I can. I don't want to see anything living in pain. And I don't understand why there has to be so much of it. And that's what the work is about. The titles are, sometimes they come across very romantic. Because for me, it's a constant, you know, it's a constant battle between brutality and something beautiful and poetic. Because I think if, you know, the stuff that I see happening to animals and people is so barbaric and brutal and unforgiving and raw. And sometimes, I mean, I in general have PTSD and I have trauma, and I have a lot of like stuff that I'm always working through. I had serious issues with addiction and depression and anxiety, and it's a lifelong thing that I'm dealing with. And I think that's where the poetry comes in, because I think dealing with that much pain and trauma and all this stuff myself in my inside of me, and then seeing it outside constantly, all the time, everywhere. If there wasn't that little bit of poetry, I don't know if I would have been able to survive this life. I don't know if I would have been able to make it this far. So I think, and again, I don't even know if this has anything to do with anything that I just said. This is just my interpretation. I just know that it comes to me, the ideas, everything comes to me. I can't explain it. I have to make it. I'm compelled to make it. It drives me insane until I make it. And it's everything to me. It's everything. It's what I came here to do. I'm completely clear about that. It's the only thing that gives me a sense of anything, like anything real. Like, if I don't make this work, I think I would have definitely gone crazy. I would have killed myself, gone crazy, like jumped off a bridge. I wouldn't have been able to sustain myself for this long. And I think that I'm here to make this work, and at the same time, the work heals me. and sustains me and keeps me going from one day to the next. It really is, it's everything to me. And that combination, it's like brutal poetry, like brutalism and harsh, unforgiving, like aggression, with this soft, like wind, this like beautiful poeticness that comes through, and that's the work. And that's the work. And a little bit of magic, because I'm not doing this. There's something else. There's something above and beyond what I'm capable of doing. It's a little bit of magic.